Welcome back to Nick Talk Sports, a channel where a random guy talks about sports that he really cares about. And right now, we're going to be talking about the picks for this week, heading into week 4 of the NFL season. This is Nick Picks. We're picking every game. And so far this year, we've been going pretty well. We follow up a 12-4 week with an 11-5 week, followed by last week, a much more rough week in which we went 10-6. So 10-6, 11-5. And 12-4. So we're slightly getting worse each and every week. That being said, I feel pretty confident about this week. So let's get rolling. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, you got the Seahawks going up against the Cardinals. Easily here, I picked the Seahawks. The Seahawks are looking pretty good. I think that offense is pretty good, but they didn't have to do much this last week against the Saints because their defense and special teams really took over. This defense is very good. I don't expect that performance from the special teams every week moving forward, but the Cardinals have shown me that they aren't that great of a football team. They usually start hot and then really cool off. They aren't even really starting hot this year. They're just winning a couple of close games. I don't really believe in this team. They just lost to the Niners, who didn't even have Brock Purdy or a lot of their offensive weapons. You're really looking at Christian McCaffrey carrying that offense. Their defense may be okay, but Kyler Murray is just not a quarterback I trust in. And so I think that the Cardinals will have a rough time moving the ball this week against the Seahawks defense. And I think the Seahawks offense will look pretty decent at the very least, and that's all you really need. And Sam Darnold will be good enough. And so the Seahawks win this one. Now we head into the Sunday games, and we start off early in Dublin, Ireland, with the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I believe that J.J. McCarthy is going to be out for this game again. He hasn't been practicing this week, so you're going to have Carson Wentz in. And so that's a little bit, I don't know if that's better or worse. That being said, give me the Minnesota Vikings. I don't believe in this Pittsburgh Steelers team. This defense, even though being the highest paid defense in the league, has not looked that great. And this, even though they got these turnovers this last week against the Patriots, I don't believe in that defense that much right now. And then this offense for the Steelers, I don't believe in. They haven't shown much signs of life since week 1. The Minnesota Vikings, though, I do really believe in that defense. That defense is darn good. They are a very good defense, and I believe in Kevin O'Connell as a head coach and an offensive play caller, and I believe that Carson Wentz will do enough to be able to win this game. I do think that the Minnesota Vikings take this one and move to 2-1. After that, you've got our noon games, and we start out with the Chargers and the Giants, and believe it or not, I'm picking the Chargers. I don't think anyone else is picking any other way. This Chargers defense has been very good, and you saw what this Chiefs defense did to the Giants last week. You have Jackson Dart starting his first game. In the first game against a Chargers defense that's very good, I don't expect him to play super well. Hopefully, they can hook him up with some easy layups to Malik Neighbors. That being said, the Chargers defense is too good, and that offense is probably going to be too good for this Giants defense. I think that the offense should move the ball decently well. Justin Herbert's playing at a high level. I think that passing attack will be pretty good. The rushing attack may not be very great because the Giants do have one of the best defensive fronts in the league, but I think easily here we pick the Chargers. Next up, you got the Titans versus the Texans, and give me the Texans in this one. I believe in this defense, and that is the reason I choose them. I do not believe in the Titans in any way, shape, or form. I do believe that Cam Ward could be a good quarterback someday, but that day is not today, not against that Texans defense. That defense is far too good, and your coach Callahan is not good enough. I don't believe that he's a good enough play caller. I don't believe that he is a good enough situational coach. I don't believe he can handle this game very well against the Texans. So I think the Texans win kind of an ugly game here this week. Next game, you got the Falcons going up against the Commanders. The Falcons just had a stinker losing 30-0. And the Commanders come off a big win over the Raiders, even with Marcus Mariota starting. I think I'm going to go ahead in a tough one here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Falcons. I think that they bounce back, and I'm probably going to regret picking them here. I think that they're going to look much better and much more buttoned up this week. I believe that the Commanders could very much win this game. This is very much for me an upset pick, probably more than it is really trusting and believing in the Atlanta Falcons. I just believe that the Falcons are much better than they showed last week, and I think the offense should look better, and that defense should look better as well. So go ahead and give me the Falcons this week. Next up, we got the Saints versus the Bills. And is this even a question? The Bills are obviously going to win. They're going to win by like 40 points. This game isn't going to be anywhere near close. The Saints are a terrible, terrible football team right now. And that doesn't mean that they won't get better in the future. But this year they are not getting better, and definitely not against this Bills team. This is a fine-tuning game if you're the Bills. Try out some new things on defense. Try out some new things on offense. It's like you're at practice. This game really isn't much of anything for you. Just go ahead and get a couple scores, then do some fun stuff, see what you can do, see if other things that you haven't tried before can work. It's that kind of a game for the Bills. Sorry, Saints fans. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. Give me the Bills. Next game, you got the Eagles going up against the Bucks, and this game is going to be a really good game. I think the Bucks can compete with absolutely anyone, and maybe I'm going to regret doing this for a second week in a row, but I'm going to pick against the Eagles and choose the Bucks to come away with this win. It is in Tampa Bay. I do believe in Baker Mayfield in this passing game. The Eagles, their weak spot has definitely been the passing defense, and I believe we're going to continue to see that struggle this week. That defensive front is no joke, but I think that the Buccaneers have too much on offense for the Eagles to really handle. And I believe that this Buccaneers defense will give the Eagles offense some trouble, even though the Eagles have shown that they can win in several different ways. I just don't think that they can keep it up this week. And I think you see their first loss of the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next game, you got the Browns going up against the Lions. And Browns, I know that you're looking high and mighty coming off a huge win against the Packers. It stops here. You're not winning this game. It's not going to be close. The Lions are going to decimate you. I think this offense can do pretty much whatever it wants, but at the same time, it will struggle a little bit more against a very good team, that a very good defensive team that the Browns have. This group is very good, and I think the Lions will have some struggle, but ultimately they have too many things that they can do on offense, and they're going to be able to put up some points, and this Browns offense is not good. They are really struggling. There are going to be continued calls for Shedeur Sanders to come in and start, and I think that you're going to go ahead and see that the Lions can win purely off their defense and good enough offense. And then you have the Panthers going up against the Patriots. This is a game that I'm not sure a ton of people are going to be that excited to watch. The Panthers are coming off of a huge win against the Falcons, 30-0. The Patriots are coming off of a really tough 21-14 loss to the Steelers. That being said, I think this week the Patriots get back on track and they're going to have far fewer turnovers. That will be a big emphasis for Mike Vrabel during this week in between games. And I think that you're going to see the Patriots come back and win this game. That doesn't mean it's going to be a blowout. It could definitely be very close. It could be low scoring. That being said, the Patriots were moving the ball against the Steelers, and I think that their defense is going to look a lot better this week, or continue to look well, and it'll look a lot better than the Falcons' defense looked against the Panthers this last week. And that's not to say that the Panthers can't be a decent team this year, but I do believe that last week was a little bit of fool's gold, and if you're buying heavily into the Panthers, you're going to be disappointed this week. Then the next game, you get the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the San Francisco 49ers. And this is a game that I'm not entirely sure who I want to pick here. I don't know. It will probably end up being an ugly game. I think I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. I think that the defense is looking pretty good. That offense definitely has some momentum, and I think they can continue to look better and better as the season goes on, and especially with a new coach and Liam Cohen. I believe in his play calling. I think that they're going to look better this week than they did last week against a great Texans defense. And for that reason, I'm picking the Jaguars this week, but I do not feel confident about it at all. Then the next game, you get the Colts showing up in a late afternoon window. Look at them. They're picking up in a much better time slot for a football game. They're playing against the Rams here, and I do think that the Rams are going to win this one. I know the Colts have looked very, very good so far this season, but this is a big test for them. You're going up against a big dog in the LA Rams. The Rams are coming off a game where they really blew it. I think that they're going to feel much more motivated heading into this week, hosting the Colts, and the Colts, that offense going up against that Rams defense, I think you'll finally see this offense slow down. I know they've only punted like once in the first 3 weeks. I don't think that that's going to continue this week. I don't think that's realistic. I think the Rams defense is very good, and I think their offense is better than the Colts defense can be against them. And so I'm not saying it'll be a blowout by any means, but I do think the Rams should be able to win this game. And in our last Sunday afternoon game, we have the Bears against the Raiders. And someone please tell me how this got a 3:25 p.m. slot for a game. I don't understand how this one is here, but hey, here we are. This is a game that I'm not sure anyone will really care to watch much of, but the Bears and the Raiders, Bears coming off of a huge win over the Cowboys, and their offense finally looked good. It looked like they were figuring things out, given they're going up against the Cowboys defense, and that defense isn't very good. Luckily for them, the Raiders defense isn't super great right now. And so I think that they should be able to continue playing decent football. And the Raiders offense has looked pretty bad, and I think that'll continue this week against the Bears defense. I think the Bears defense should continue to get better as they continue to get more and more pieces back into that secondary, who was really hurt at the beginning of the season. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears in this one. And on Sunday Night Football, you get the Packers against the Cowboys. This game should be a fun one if you're a Packers fan. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're not going to have fun at all. You're going to see Micah Parsons in the backfield hitting Dak Prescott all game. He'll be there early. He'll be there often. I don't think that your offense has a chance against this defense, and your defense definitely probably won't have a chance against this offense. I know Green Bay's offense looked really bad against the Browns defense this last week, but the Browns do have a very good defense. The Cowboys do not. I think that the Packers offense gets things right this game, and they're going to win convincingly. I think they're going to be up big early, and I don't see this game ever really being that close. So go ahead and give me the Packers on Sunday Night Football. And last but not least, we get kind of a stinker on Monday Night Football. You get the Jets versus the Dolphins, and that's not a game that I don't think very many people are looking forward to at all. The Jets have not looked that great, given they took a lead against the Bucs in the final minutes of this last game this last week. I do not believe in this offense moving forward, and the Dolphins, you played a good game against the Bills, and that's all I could really expect from you is to be competitive. I do believe that the Dolphins have more firepower in this game, and I think that the Dolphins should come away with the win this week and finally get on the board in the win column and move to 1-3. For the Jets, I don't think you're that lucky. I just don't believe in this offense. This defense hasn't looked amazing so far this season. They've looked a lot better in previous seasons, so they're still trying to figure things out under Aaron Glenn. And so I think the Dolphins can win kind of an ugly one this week. But at the same time, I think it's kind of a coin toss because I have no clue what to expect from either team. Those are my picks this week. Let me know who you've got down in the comments. Let me know if you think there are some games that you think I have incredibly wrong, or if I'm disrespecting your team. I'll try to be more respectful in the future. That being said, that's who I got this week, and I'm looking forward to see how it shakes out.